The world that we live in very much focuses on the individual. That's actually the source of a lot of loneliness and mental health issues, and the reason why billionaires and millionaires are getting richer and richer, because we're acquiring more to feel better about ourselves. But that's not the key to feeling better. Purchasing and doing these things for yourself, it's actually about sharing and being amongst others in community. We do need to be brave, and we do need to put ourselves out there in order to attract more for ourselves. We can't stay in our comfort zones and expect new things to come in. Equally, it's lovely to protect your energy and to honor your introverted nature from time to time, to stay at home, to feel your feelings in isolation, to do all those lovely solitude activities. That's beautiful, and there's certainly a time and a place for it. But you also need to push yourself if you want to meet new people. You want to make sure that you give other women the space to share their feelings, their stories, their insecurities, and not be judgmental and not try to give them too much advice. Just being a listener is the most powerful thing, and that will invite people in. People want to be able to release the stuff that they've had bottled up in their head all day. And I'm not saying you need to become this therapist. I'm just saying it's really stunning to allow people to just speak up without, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that. Sometimes it's just really lovely to have someone sit there and listen to you, look you in the eye, nod, not interrupt you, not wait for your gap in your dialogue so they can talk about themselves, but just listen. Hello beautiful people, I'm Alessia, for those of you that don't know me. Thank you for those of you that are returning viewers. Thank you for showing up by just watching my videos, but also for commenting. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for being a part of this community. So we want to attract women that deeply care about us, and I have that now. But in the past I didn't have that. I was actually very lonely. I was surrounded by people, but I was lonely. I actually didn't really have many female friends surrounding me. I actually had a lot more guy friends, and my position in the group of guys that I was friends with was the person that was there to look good and laugh at the guys' jokes that actually were really quite sexist. And now I have women that I deeply care about, and they really care about me. They want me to be happy and successful. They want to see me thriving. And actually that can be quite hard to find, because we live in a world that encourages women to not want the best for each other, to be in competition with each other. We really want to attract kind women into our lives, women that are going to want the best for us, as well as wanting the best for themselves. We want those friendships that are going to empower us. When you cultivate that friendship circle, those connections with other women, you transform into a stronger, more confident version of yourself. It just has this ripple effect on all corners of your life. For a long time, I navigated from a place of shame, embarrassment, insecurity, internalized sexism, and it wasn't until I started researching feminism, it wasn't until I really reached out to other women and connected with other women and myself as a woman in this patriarchal world that I had that moment of realization that actually coming together as women is the most powerful thing we can do, not only for ourselves but for the world. When women come together in community, magic happens. Do you know what? I feel so lucky, because whenever I leave a meetup with my close friends, my close girlfriends, I feel electric. I feel so inspired. I usually come and write out a script for my next YouTube video. I go for a walk in nature and I'm so present and grateful. I'm smiling, I'm beaming, and it's crazy how simple it is. Just meeting up with another woman that I feel close to, that I feel seen by, that I feel safe with, can make me feel that euphoric. Wow. I missed out on the power of sisterhood for so long. If only I could have grasped onto that feeling when I was younger, when I was not really appreciating myself, feeling quite insecure, when I felt dumb. Our friends, our women can pull us out of the darkest times. That's why I'm really healing faster than ever. When I was younger, I was in this prolonged period of confusion. I didn't know who I was, what I wanted, what I cared about. I actually tended to just focus on trying to get the attention of men. That kind of felt like my life's purpose when I was younger. It wasn't until I connected with other women that I realised that I'm capable of so much more, and that life is actually so much more beautiful in the most simple way. My girlfriends enable me to take a step back from productivity culture, from hustle culture. Do you get really swept up by the busyness of this world? Do you get swept up by your insecurities that are telling you that you're not enough? Does that kind of force you to become this workaholic that's just constantly striving to feel good enough by means of producing work constantly that's of a high standard? Do you feel this pressure to be productive all the time? Well, I find that this need to be busy, productive, constantly producing kind of fades away when I'm with my girlfriends or when I've met up with them. Sometimes all it takes is a little meet up with my friend during the week to realign me with what I'm here for on planet Earth today. I'm not here to be working. I'm here to produce things that are hopefully gonna benefit this world, but I'm also here to connect with nature and experience fun, beautiful things. I'm here to connect with animals. I'm here to tell my story. I'm here to do so much more than work. And my God, do my female friends remind me of that, because we have these profound conversations about life, about what we've gone through as women. We are more than our job. We're more than the work we produce. And when I'm around the women that I care about, I'm reminded that life is about connection and love and speaking from the heart. It's about so much more than just making money. I really think it's so liberating to be able to not only focus on doing and creating, but also exploring the self, exploring why you are the way you are, exploring nature, exploring other people through friendship and experiencing life together. And obviously I recognize, we live in a capitalist world. There's so much pressure and, reason to be worrying about producing and working. The structure of our society really does facilitate us focusing too much, unhealthy amount on work. Connecting with our girlfriends really does give us a beautiful break from that role. We are so much more than the worker. We are a friend. We are lovers. We are healers. We are storytellers. Most times when I'm connecting with women, particularly my close friends, I do feel a sense of enlightenment. I feel awake and present. Whereas a lot of the time when I'm away from those female friends and I'm on my own working and it's the middle of the week, I'll be in automatic robot mode and I won't even really realize that I'm here today on planet Earth. I'm not present, I'm not aware. I'm almost asleep, when you kind of go about your routine and you start working and you're on your screens. It's so easy to kind of just not even feel like you're here, conscious, aware in this short existence that we have. It's so easy to, during your working week, fall into that how can I be a winner mindset, which is very kind of egotistical and individualistic and lonely. I'm very grateful that my friends are able to kind of pull me out of that. This is me, what do I do to make myself look good? What do I do to make myself feel good? And they put things back into perspective where I'm surrounded by them in community and I can think, there's so much more to life than showing off what I have and what I can do. There's people and nature. Life isn't just about me. The world that we live in very much focuses on the individual. That's actually the source of a lot of kind of like loneliness and mental health issues, and the reason why billionaires and millionaires are getting richer and richer, because we're acquiring more to feel better about ourselves. But that's not the key to feeling better, to feeling happy. Purchasing and doing these things for yourself, it's actually about sharing and being amongst others in community. That, I think, is the most healing thing that we can do for ourselves. Find those friendships that are going to bring us up. I feel seen by the women in my life more than I do by anyone else. We have that mutual understanding, existing as women in a patriarchal world. Those feelings of, I'm too much, I'm too emotional, he's not getting my point, why does he not get it? I feel so invalidated. This comes up because for guys, our struggles, our pain is just theoretical to them. They haven't got the lived experience of being a woman in this patriarchal world. So it can be so liberating to share your problems and your struggles and your emotions with women and just be met with understanding. I'm sure you've had it where you've had an argument with a guy and you felt super unseen, super invalidated and kind of crazy. And you've gone to explain what happened and why you felt upset to a female friend, and they've gone, oh my God, I completely get you. Suddenly you don't feel crazy and you can relax. A lot of the time, the women around me can fully comprehend my feelings and we can have these very kind of complicated and deep and meaningful conversations about things that I'm going through. It doesn't involve me having to over explain. There's so much understanding in the kind of sisterhood. It's a lot, isn't it, having to have those conversations with the guys in our lives, where we're trying to get them to see how we're feeling and why, and having to really go into detail to explain why this action made us feel like this. It can be so stressful and mentally exhausting, and that can take away from a lot of your precious energy that you want to keep for yourself, that you want to give to work. I just want to say to those of you who feel misunderstood by the men in your life, reserve your energy and your time, because if someone just constantly misunderstands you, it becomes a choice. They can choose to do reading on why people might feel a certain way. They can choose to learn from the conversations you've had in the past. People can change and make you feel better and more seen and validated. And if you're not getting that right now with someone, a man in your life, you don't deserve that. I certainly encourage you to explain why you feel the way you do and how they can make you feel better, but then leave it to them. Don't keep repeating the same messages to them. I'm hurt and this is why. Don't keep draining yourself. If they're not going to get it, they're not going to get it. They don't deserve your time or energy. Since I have found my girls, I've experienced more success. And a study published in the Harvard Business Review demonstrates that while men and women both benefit from having a close inner circle of supportive people, women are more likely to achieve the highest possible levels of success in their careers if their inner circle is made up of other women. Success is obviously a word that you can interpret in your own way. I don't know what you would class as success. For me, it goes beyond work success. It goes beyond money and labels and titles. For me, success is very much a feeling as well as an achievement, something that you can point at and see. A successful lifestyle to me is a life where I feel content a lot of the time and peaceful. I meditate, I connect with friends, I go to coffee shops, I create work that I love. That's success to me. There's this thing called loving kindness meditation that I strongly recommend, particularly if you find yourself struggling to trust other women, if you find that you get jealous of other women quite quickly, or you feel yourself wanting to be in competition with other women, then you want to shift how you approach women, how you think about women. And if you regularly practice loving kindness meditation, you can do that. You can shift from a place of envy to more of a place of love and kindness. So when you're doing this meditation, find a comfortable seated position or lying down position, close your eyes, maybe play some peaceful music. Make sure you're in a really safe environment where you're not going to be interrupted. And you want to extend feelings of love and kindness to the women in your life and women in this world generally. The idea is to wish good things, and you do this by repeating affirmations. So you want to start off by repeating affirmations like, may I be happy and healthy, may I attract abundance and positivity, may I be safe in community. And then you want to direct those affirmations towards other women. So you want to change I to we. May we be happy and healthy. May we attract abundance and positivity. And you really want to see yourself saying these affirmations to the women around you and the women in this world. Your love and care goes out to them when you're saying those affirmations with an internal whisper in your head. If you regularly do this meditation, if you regularly allow your mind to want good things for other women, it's going to shift how you view other women in general in your day-to-day situations. It's going to enable you to have genuine interest in other women's lives, in wanting success for other women. You do attract the energy you put out. If you intend to make other women feel special and good and valued, you will attract women that want the same for you, that want you to be this bright shining star. So if you at the moment feel hostile towards other women, I just want to say that's not your fault. We live in a patriarchal society that puts us against each other, that tries to disempower us by breaking us apart and making us hate each other. So it's not your fault, but you can change, and you should change. You're now an adult woman. You don't need to follow what you've been told to do. You have agency. You can be like, no, I'm not a child anymore. I'm not going to follow what the media is telling me to do, TV programs are telling me to do. I am going to treat other women how I want to be treated. So if you feel hostile towards other women, I do advise that being your first port of call, shifting from that place of hostility to more of a place of love and empathy and understanding. And it will take time, but doing this kind of meditation will really help you. And also reading, feminist books and understanding why there is that hostility. We watch TV programs from a very young age that put the idea in our head that other women aren't someone to trust, but they're someone to be better than. So you really want to dismantle that idea. The only way you're really going to do that is through first understanding that that exists, that kind of barrier, and then just reminding yourself always that women are not the enemy. They are a potential friend. They are a feeling person, human. So often women are dehumanized in this world on television programs, on the school playground. The woman that you maybe envy has feelings, has insecurities, has gone through a lot. That woman probably envies other women too. I just want to say to you, it's completely okay to feel jealous of other women. That emotion is very normal. Jealousy it's a human emotion. Whilst it might feel like quite an ugly, shameful emotion to feel, there's nothing wrong with feeling it. There is something wrong with acting upon it and not treating someone nicely because you're jealous. That's wrong. But feeling the emotion isn't wrong, and it's not you. Just because you're feeling it doesn't mean that it defines you. What defines you is how you treat people, how you act, what you do with your thoughts, and how you conduct yourself on a day-to-day basis. That's what defines you. So make sure that your jealous feelings don't spiral and turn into a behavior that then defines you. Instead of acting out when you're jealous of another woman, try journaling and ask yourself questions like, why is this woman triggering me? What qualities does she embody that make me feel so intimidated by her? Is there something that I want that she has? Explore and figure out what it is that this woman is showing you that you want for yourself. Another thing you can do to really address that kind of hostility that you're feeling towards other women is using affirmations that can reprogram your subconscious mind. I trust women. I attract caring women into my life. I send love and opportunities to the women around me. I value women. So what you want to do is you want to choose an affirmation that you can have faith in, that you can believe in, that really resonates from a deep place. If you're saying the affirmation and it doesn't really feel like something you feel like you're ever going to fully believe in, then find another affirmation. You really want it to speak from a place of, yeah, this is it. This is what I believe in. This is what I want. This is true. You want to be able to say this affirmation without any niggling doubt in your mind. You also want to make sure you repeat these affirmations. Look at yourself in the mirror and say them out loud to yourself. And maybe smile to yourself in the mirror as you say them. Because when we smile, we get an endorphin release, which makes us feel good. Do you want to smile with me now? Makes you feel good. So if you've always had this want to connect with other women, you're like, I've wanted this, but I'm just not attracting the right people. The conversation isn't flowing. I just don't feel like I'm meshing with these women. I want to ask you, are you being vulnerable? The thing that enabled me to foster this trust with other women was being open and honest. I don't mean oversharing and telling them my life story and everything I've struggled with. Of course, it's really important to keep vulnerable information to yourself until you feel like you can really trust this person. But when, the time feels right, when information that's not too personal can be revealed in the moment, naturally, I encourage you to do that, to reveal parts of yourself that do feel a little bit more intimate, because this will facilitate other women doing the same. And when we can share vulnerably, our connections deepen, trust develops, and these can be the most exciting, powerful, healing connections. You want to make sure that you give other women the space to share their feelings, their stories, their insecurities, and not be judgmental. And not try to give them too much advice. Just being a listener is the most powerful thing, and that will invite people in. People want to be able to release the stuff that they've had bottled up in their head all day. And I'm not saying you need to become this therapist. I'm just saying it's really stunning to allow people to just speak up without, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that, oh, this reminds me of this experience that I've had. Sometimes it's just really lovely to have someone sit there and listen to you, look you in the eye, nod, not interrupt you, not wait for your gap in your dialogue so they can talk about themselves, but just listen. You deserve loving friendships. You deserve women that care for you. A really important thing is to recognise that you deserve that, because if you don't feel like you deserve it, then likelihood is you're not going to attract that deep connection. We need to know that we deserve it. We need to tell ourselves that we deserve it, and then we can attract those close connections. And a lot of the time, if we've gone through hardship, if we've got quite a lot of insecurities, and if we're quite self-critical, if we've gone through something quite painful in our past, we might feel like we're too much, that we're too damaged, that we don't deserve love, that we don't deserve good people and good things. But I'm here to tell you now that you do. Insecure people who have gone through traumatic things, you deserve love. You really do. You deserve people to listen to you. You deserve people to laugh with you. You deserve healthy relationships, and you deserve space and distance from those toxic relationships. You deserve those friendships that allow you to heal. It's really important to put your trust in other people. Obviously be super intuitive and listen to your body. If your body's saying, red flag, don't trust this person, don't be vulnerable with this person, listen completely. Our bodies know best. That inner voice knows best. And I've done a video all about following your intuition and how important that is. I'll link it. But at the same time, you might be so used to hiding yourself away and not trusting people that you're kind of not even letting the good people in, the people that are willing to protect you and see you and care for you. So really just contemplate that. Are you quite guarded? Are you not trusting people that do deserve your trust? Maybe journal about that and try and break that barrier down, and gradually put yourself out there with people who it feels right with. So I, a while ago, wrote out a list of qualities that I really wanted my friends to embody. And at the beginning, I'll admit, I wanted them to embody every single characteristic. And I think that's because I didn't want to let anyone in who wasn't anything but perfect, because I was scared of being hurt again. I was scared of being let down. No one's going to embody every single characteristic that you want them to embody. But there are people out there who are going to embody things that you want. Sometimes you'll meet people that, okay, aren't introverted like you, they're extroverted, but actually their extroverted nature brings you out of your shell more. And actually maybe you'll tweak your list and put, actually, I don't need introverted anymore. I just want someone who's willing to be their authentic self and open with me. So write that list so you can be a bit more picky with who you invite into your inner circle. If you're someone who's too liberal with letting people in, write that list down. But also don't be a perfectionist and don't only let people similar to you in. I think that's something that a lot of people do. They get attracted to people that are similar to them. But if we want to be creative and big picture thinking people, we want diversity. We want people who have different upbringings, different backgrounds, different experiences to us, to open up our minds. Otherwise, we're just going to be ignorant. So I do encourage you to really think openly when you're writing down these qualities that you want people to embody. This list will help you see what you want to attract. It will help you hone in on the people that you want in your life. So for example, if you're going to a yoga class every week and you realise there's this girl who's really kind and smiley and outgoing, and she embodies all these traits that you want, hopefully because you've written this list down, you can go, actually, it's worth me asking if she wants to go for a coffee, because she's embodying a lot of the things that I want around me. She has this energy that's really exciting and positive, and I want that in my life. So even though it's scary, I'm going to put myself out there. That's the next thing I want to say to you. We do need to be brave, and we do need to put ourselves out there in order to attract more for ourselves. We can't stay in our comfort zones and expect new things to come in. Equally, it's lovely to protect your energy and to honor your introverted nature from time to time, to stay at home, to feel your feelings in isolation, to do all those lovely solitude activities. That's beautiful, and there's certainly a time and a place for it. But you also need to push yourself if you want to meet new people. So join communities, go to classes, spark a conversation with the woman who's sitting next to you in the coffee shop reading your favourite book and say, I've read that book, how are you finding it? If you want something different, or rather someone different in your life, you're going to have to do something differently. So rather than just keeping yourself to yourself the whole time, try reaching out to people. Sometimes you only have to say, hey, how are you doing? Isn't it so beautiful today? Did you know there's a pond at the end of this park? Prepare some little sentence starters that will enable you to start a conversation when it feels right, when you feel like you're around a kindred spirit maybe. Put yourself out there. Ask how they're doing. Ask what they've been doing today. Annoyingly, when we're adults, we have to be brave if we want to make friends, and we have to put ourselves out there. At school, friends are kind of handed to us through, the clubs that we have to do and the extracurricular that we have to do and the classes that we're in. Those friends are kind of handed to us, but as we grow up, that doesn't happen. When we're adults, we can spend actually a lot of time on our own and not have to see other people. So we really do need to actively seek out friends and invite people into our lives, into our circle. Have a big heart, but also protect yourself and your energy. Be intuitive. Journal all the time when you're meeting new people. Get your thoughts down, because that will enable you to really see how you're feeling emotionally with these people when you're with them and also after. Gauging how they make you feel, how your body reacts to them is really good to make sure you're not, dealing with anyone that could be potentially like toxic or just not your kind of person. Yeah, make sure that you let that inner monologue out through journaling or, speaking to other people that you already have around that you trust. Just make sure that you are very aware when you're trying to attract new people into your life, new friendships, and you're just being a bit more open. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm so proud of those of you that are clearly so keen to self-reflect and learn and grow. You're doing an amazing job, and I see you. Lots of love.